Have you ever been told you weren't good enough, that you needed to change who you are to deserve love? Today I want to share a story that will make you rethink everything about self-worth, transformation, and the price of proving yourself to someone who never valued you in the first place. What you're about to read isn't just a story, it's a lesson about knowing your worth. The Dubai marina sparkled like a cascade of diamonds against the night sky. Yachts worth millions floated peacefully in the crystal-clear waters, while the Burj Khalifa towered in the distance, its lights dancing in perfectly choreographed patterns. Inside the opulent Al-Qasar restaurant, with its gold-leaf ceilings and waiters in white gloves, sat Maya Richardson and Sheikh Khalid Al-Mansur. Maya was 28 years old, a marketing consultant from Seattle who had moved to Dubai 6 months earlier for a job opportunity. She was curvy, confident, with rich brown hair that fell in waves past her shoulders and green eyes that sparkled when she laughed. She wore a navy blue dress that hugged her size 14 figure perfectly, paired with simple pearl earrings her grandmother had given her. Across from her sat Khalid, 35, heir to one of the oldest oil fortunes in the UAE, tall, impeccably dressed in a custom-tailored white Kandura and designer watch that cost more than most people's cars. He had the kind of presence that made everyone in the restaurant sneak glances at their table. They had been dating for 8 months. They'd met at a business conference where Maya had been presenting on digital marketing strategies, and Khalid had been the keynote speaker on investment in emerging technologies. He'd approached her after her presentation, impressed by her intelligence and humor. What started as coffee had turned into dinners, weekend trips to Abu Dhabi, late-night conversations about life and dreams. Maya had fallen in love, hard. Maya, Khalid said, setting down his gold-rimmed water glass. We need to talk about something important. Her heart skipped. The tone, the setting, the way his dark eyes looked at her with unusual seriousness. Was this the moment? I've been thinking about us, he continued. About our future. Maya's hands trembled slightly as she set down her fork. I've been thinking about it too. Khalid reached across the white tablecloth and took her hand. His touch was warm but his expression was unreadable. My family has been asking questions. They want to know when I'm getting married, who I'm seeing. He paused. I've told them about you. You have. Maya's voice came out as a whisper. Yes, and I want to make this official. I want to marry you, Maya. For a moment Maya couldn't breathe. This was everything she'd dreamed of. The man she loved asking her to be his wife, in the most beautiful city in the world. But, Khalid continued, and that single word shattered the moment like glass. There are conditions. Maya's smile froze. Conditions. Khalid pulled his hand back and straightened in his chair. His businessman demeanor had returned, replacing the romantic softness of seconds before. My family is very traditional, very particular about appearances, and you have to understand, Maya, that as my wife, you would represent not just yourself, but the entire Al-Mansur legacy. Generations of tradition. I understand that, Maya said carefully. I respect your culture. I know you do. Khalid signaled to a waiter, who quickly disappeared and returned with a large white box tied with a silver ribbon. Which is why I had this made for you. The waiter placed the box in front of Maya. She looked at Khalid, confused. Open it, he said. With trembling fingers, Maya untied the ribbon and lifted the lid. Inside, wrapped in layers of tissue paper, was the most beautiful dress she'd ever seen. It was a traditional Emirati wedding kaftan, white silk embroidered with gold thread in intricate patterns, encrusted with what looked like real pearls and crystals. It must have cost a fortune. It's beautiful, Maya whispered. It was my mother's wedding dress, Khalid said. Modified, of course, but based on the original design. It's a family heirloom style. Maya ran her fingers over the delicate fabric, overwhelmed by the gesture. There's just one thing, Khalid said, and his tone made her look up. You need to fit into it. Maya blinked. What? The dress is a size 4. My mother was very petite, as are all the women in my family, and as my future wife. He paused, choosing his words carefully. You would need to look the part, for the family, for society, for the photographs that will be in every newspaper and magazine in the Gulf. The implication hung in the air like smoke. You're asking me to lose weight, Maya said flatly. I'm asking you to be healthy, Khalid corrected, though his eyes told a different story. To take care of yourself, to show that you're serious about this marriage, about joining my family. I am healthy, Maya said, her voice rising slightly. I run 3 times a week. I eat well. I'm not a size 4. I've never been a size 4, but you could be. Khalid leaned forward, his voice dropping to a persuasive purr. With the right trainer, the right nutritionist, dedication. I'll pay for everything, of course. Personal chef, private gym sessions, whatever you need. Maya stared at the dress in the box. The beautiful, impossible dress. How much time? She asked quietly. 6 months, Khalid said. The wedding is planned for next spring. That's plenty of time to lose. What? 40 pounds? 50? It's completely doable. Maya looked up at him, really looked at him, at the man she thought she loved, who was sitting across from her with a straight face, telling her she needed to lose 1/3 of her body weight to be worthy of marrying him. And if I don't fit the dress? She asked. Khalid's expression hardened. Then we'll have to reconsider. My family won't accept. They have standards, Maya. Surely you understand. Maya closed the box slowly, the sound of the lid clicking shut, echoing in her ears louder than the classical music playing in the restaurant. I need to think about this, she said. Of course. Khalid smiled, back to his charming self. Take your time, but not too much time. The clock is ticking. Maya didn't sleep that night. She sat in her Dubai apartment, a modest 1-bedroom in Jumeirah Lake Towers, staring at the white box on her coffee table, as if it were a bomb waiting to explode. Her phone buzzed, her best friend Sarah, calling from Seattle. How did it go? Sarah's excited voice came through the speaker. Did he propose? Sort of, Maya said. Sort of. What does that mean? Maya told her everything. The dress, the conditions, the deadline. The silence on the other end lasted 5 full seconds. Are you fucking kidding me? Sarah finally exploded. He wants you to lose 50 pounds in 6 months, or he won't marry you. He says it's about health, about his family's expectations. It's about control, Maya, and it's disgusting. But I love him, Maya said, and even as the words left her mouth, she heard how pathetic they sounded. Does he love you? Because love doesn't come with a weight requirement, babe. After hanging up with Sarah, Maya opened her laptop. She Googled healthy weight loss, and 6 months transformation, and how to lose 50 pounds. The results overwhelmed her. Extreme diets, workout programs that looked like military training, before and after photos of people who looked nothing like themselves. Then she found herself on a different search: self-worth and conditional love and emotional manipulation. The articles that came up made her stomach turn. They described exactly what Khalid had done, making love conditional on changing yourself, using gifts and promises to mask controlling behavior, isolating partners by making them feel not good enough. Maya looked at herself in the mirror. She saw a successful woman with a great career, genuine friendships, a good heart. She saw someone who'd always been confident in her skin, who'd never let society's beauty standards define her worth. When had she forgotten that? At 3 a.m., Maya made a decision, but not the one Khalid expected. She wouldn't try to fit the dress. She'd fit into the life she actually deserved. The next morning, Maya called Khalid. I've made my decision, she said. I accept your challenge. She could hear the smile in his voice. I knew you would. I'll have my secretary send you the contact information for the best trainers and nutritionists in Dubai. That won't be necessary, Maya said calmly. I have my own plan. And she did, just not the one he imagined. Maya gave her notice at work. 2 months later, she'd be leaving Dubai, but not before executing the most important project of her life. She hired a personal trainer, yes, but not to shrink herself. She hired Samira, a former Olympic athlete who specialized in strength training and building confidence. I don't want to lose weight, Maya told Samira at their first session. I want to become the strongest version of myself, physically, mentally, emotionally. Samira grinned. Now that's a goal I can work with. Maya started training 6 days a week, boxing, weightlifting, running, yoga, not to fit into a dress, but to feel powerful, to channel her anger and hurt into something productive. She also started therapy with Dr. Williams, a psychologist who specialized in self-esteem and relationship patterns. Why do you think you stayed with someone who treated you like a project to be fixed? Dr. Williams asked during their 3rd session. Maya had to dig deep for that answer. It went back to childhood, to always being the chubby girl, to internalizing messages that she needed to be smaller to be lovable. I thought if I could just be enough for him, I'd finally be enough for myself, Maya admitted. And now, Dr. Williams asked gently, now I realize I was always enough. He was the one who wasn't. Maya threw herself into work with renewed energy. She landed 2 major clients and negotiated a remote position with her company that would allow her to work from anywhere in the world. She also started documenting her journey, not the physical transformation Khalid expected, but the emotional one she actually needed. She started an anonymous blog called Unboxing Expectations, where she wrote about conditional love, cultural pressures, and learning to value yourself. The blog went viral. Women from around the world shared their own stories of being told they weren't good enough, of trying to shrink themselves for love. Khalid called her weekly to check on her progress. Maya kept it vague, letting him believe she was following his plan. The wedding preparations are coming along beautifully, he'd say. Mother is so excited to meet you. Once you fit the dress, of course. Maya would make non-committal sounds and change the subject. Meanwhile, her body did change, but not in the way he expected. She gained muscle. She stood taller. Her eyes had a fierce light they'd never had before. She was becoming someone new, someone stronger. But most importantly, she was becoming free. 6 months passed like water through fingers. It was 3 days before the scheduled wedding when Khalid called Maya. Tomorrow, he said excitedly. Tomorrow you try on the dress for the final fitting. I've arranged for my family to be there. They want to finally meet you officially. About that, Maya said calmly. I need you to meet me somewhere first. Alone, Maya. We don't have time for, just meet me, she interrupted. At the Peninsula Hotel, the tea lounge. 4 p.m. If you want any chance of this wedding happening, you'll be there. The next afternoon, Khalid arrived at the Peninsula exactly on time. He found Maya sitting at a corner table, and for a moment he had to do a double take. She looked different. Her hair was styled differently, shorter and more confident. She wore a tailored burgundy suit that hugged her curves that were still very much present. She looked powerful, polished, and completely at ease. Khalid's eyes narrowed as he sat down. You look good, he said carefully. But Maya, the dress. Let's talk about the dress, Maya said, cutting him off. She pulled out her phone and showed him a photo. It was the white dress, the one from the box. But it wasn't empty anymore. It was on a mannequin in a shop window. Khalid's face went pale. What is this? I donated it, Maya said simply, to a vintage boutique in Deira. They were thrilled to have such a beautiful piece. Said it would sell in days. What? Khalid's voice rose, drawing looks from other patrons. I donated your mother's dress. Or rather, the dress you had made to look like your mother's dress, but was really just a tool to control me. How dare you? No. Maya's voice was steel. How dare you? How dare you? Make love conditional. How dare you? Tell someone you want to spend your life with that they need to change everything about themselves to deserve you. Khalid's jaw clenched. I was trying to help you, to make you better. I didn't need to be better, Khalid. I needed to be valued. There's a difference. My family, your family, Maya interrupted, would have never accepted me anyway. The dress was just the first test. There would have been others. Change your career, change your friends, change your opinions, change your entire self until there was nothing left of Maya, just a hollow woman in designer clothes, saying yes to everything. Khalid leaned back in his chair, his expression a mix of anger and disbelief. So what, you're calling off the wedding? There was never going to be a wedding, Khalid, because there was never really going to be a partnership. You wanted a doll, a trophy, something to fit into your perfect life without disrupting it. I loved you, he said, and for the first time he actually sounded hurt. Did you? Maya asked quietly. Or did you love the idea of changing me, of being the man who fixed the fat American girl and made her worthy of his name? Khalid had no answer. Maya stood up, gathering her purse. I hope someday you find someone who fits your dress. But more than that, I hope you find someone who makes you realize that love isn't about fitting into boxes or meeting conditions. It's about being seen, truly seen, and valued anyway. She turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Khalid, I am better now, not smaller, not quieter, not more convenient, Just free, and that's worth more than any dress or ring or family name. 3 days later was when the wedding had been scheduled. Maya knew that Khalid's family would be gathering, that questions would be asked, that explanations would be demanded. She also knew that she needed closure, not for him but for herself. So she did something unexpected. She showed up at the Al Mansour family compound in Emirates Hills. The security guard at the gate looked shocked when he saw her name on the visitor list that had never been removed. "Miss Richardson, should I call Sheikh Khalid?" "Please do," Maya said calmly. 10 minutes later, Khalid appeared at the gate, his face thunderous. "What the hell are you doing here?" "I came to speak to your mother," Maya said. "Absolutely not. You've done enough damage. I'm not leaving until I do," Maya said firmly. "You can either let me in peacefully, or I can wait at this gate and tell every curious staff member exactly why the wedding is off. Your choice." Khalid's eyes flashed with anger, but he nodded to the guard. The Al Mansour mansion was even more opulent than Maya had imagined. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, artwork that probably belonged in museums. Staff moved quietly through halls, carrying what looked like wedding decorations meant for a ceremony that would never happen. Khalid led her to a sitting room, where his mother, Sheikha Layla, sat on a cream-colored sofa, elegant in a pearl grey abaya and hijab. She was tiny, delicate, with sharp eyes that assessed Maya immediately. "Mother," Khalid said in Arabic, then switched to English. "This is Maya Richardson, the woman I was supposed to marry." Sheikha Layla's eyebrows raised slightly. "Supposed to? May I speak with you privately?" Maya asked the older woman. "Please, just 5 minutes." To Khalid's obvious frustration, his mother nodded. "Leave us, Khalid." "Mother, I don't think." "Leave." When they were alone, Sheikha Layla gestured for Maya to sit. "You are not what I expected," the older woman said in perfect British accented English. "I'm sure I'm not," Maya agreed. "Your son told me I needed to fit into your wedding dress to be worthy of marrying him." Sheikha Layla's expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. "Did he now?" "He said it was a family heirloom, that you were very particular about appearances, that I needed to lose weight to meet your standards." The older woman was quiet for a long moment. "My wedding dress," she finally said, "is in a climate-controlled vault in our London home. It is a size 8, not a size 4, and I would never ask any woman to change her body to wear it." Maya's breath caught. "He lied. My son," Sheikha Layla said carefully, "has been spoiled, given everything he ever wanted, never told no. His father and we failed him in some ways." She looked directly at Maya. "But you did not fail yourself by walking away." "I came to apologize," Maya said, "for the disruption, for the cancelled wedding. Apologize." The older woman actually smiled. "My dear, you did us a favor. A marriage built on conditions and demands is no marriage at all. Better it end now, than in divorce courts years from now when children might be involved." She stood and walked to a window overlooking the garden. "I was in an arranged marriage," Sheikha Layla said softly. "I met my husband the day of our wedding. I was 17 and terrified, but he was kind. He never asked me to be anything other than myself. We grew to love each other deeply." She turned back to Maya. "That is what I wanted for my son. Not a woman who would shrink herself to fit his expectations, but one who would challenge him to be better." "I don't think he's ready for that," Maya said. "No," his mother agreed. "He is not, but perhaps this will teach him." 6 months after that conversation, Maya was sitting in a cafe in Barcelona, her new home base. Her remote work had allowed her to travel, to explore, to finally live the life she'd always wanted. Her phone buzzed with a notification. Her blog, Unboxing Expectations, had just been featured in a major women's magazine. The article was titled, "The Woman Who Chose Herself Over a Sheikh's Dress." The comments section was flooded with support. "This gave me the courage to leave my own toxic relationship. I've been trying to be smaller for 15 years. Today I start being bigger. Thank you for showing that self-worth isn't negotiable." Maya was reading through them when a message came through from an unknown number. It was Khalid. "I saw the article. I hope you're happy with yourself." Maya stared at the message for a moment, then typed back, "I am, genuinely completely happy. I hope someday you can say the same." She didn't wait for a response. Instead she opened a new message to Sarah. "Barcelona is amazing. Thinking of staying a few more months. Want to visit?" Her phone buzzed again, but this time it was Sheikha Layla. "My dear, I read your blog, beautifully written and painfully honest. I'm proud of you for sharing your truth. If you ever return to Dubai, please call me. I would enjoy having tea with the woman my son was too foolish to appreciate. Maya smiled, surprised by the unexpected connection. That evening she went for a run along the Barcelona beach. Her body was strong, muscular, powerful. She could run farther and faster than ever before, not because she was trying to be smaller, but because she'd learned what her body could do when she stopped hating it and started honoring it. As the sun set over the Mediterranean, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Maya stopped and took a deep breath. She thought about the white dress in that box, the impossible standard, the man who'd tried to make her believe she wasn't enough. And then she thought about who she'd become, a woman who ran her own business, who traveled the world, who helped other women find their voice, who took up space unapologetically. She'd never fit that dress, and thank God for that, because in trying to fit into someone else's expectations, she would have lost the most important thing herself. Maya pulled out her phone and took a selfie with the sunset behind her. She posted it to her blog with a simple caption: 6 months ago I was asked to lose myself to gain love. Today I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, too much for someone who wanted too little. And I've never been happier. The post went viral within hours, and somewhere in Dubai, in a mansion in Emirates Hills, Khalid saw it and finally understood what he'd lost. Not a woman who would fit into a dress, but a woman who was never meant to fit into anyone's box. So ask yourself, how many times have you tried to shrink yourself for someone else's comfort? How many pieces of yourself have you cut away to fit into someone's narrow vision of who you should be? Maya's story teaches us the most important lesson. You were never meant to fit into someone else's expectations. You were meant to break them. The right person won't ask you to lose weight, change your personality, or dim your light. They'll love you louder, bigger, exactly as you are. Stop trying to fit the dress. Burn the damn dress. Build yourself a kingdom instead, because you deserve someone who sees your worth without conditions, who loves your curves and edges and all the things that make you magnificently, unapologetically you. Are you ready to choose yourself? The question isn't whether you're enough. You always were. The question is, are you brave enough to believe it?